Now, another shocker of a week for Meghan following the release of her Netflix series. This was the reaction on Gogglebox.
Meghan as in Meghan Markle.
That's the one.
I don't like her.
Now, is this seriously her house?
Yeah, I assume so.
This isn't my house.
Wait, what?
It's not even her house. It's not her house. Making candles out of beeswax from her own beehives.
It's not her beehive.
And while the candles set...
Let's go make a beautiful cake.
Oh my God, now she's making a cake.
Cake? What the hell?
see?
Do you know what she's having? She's having a crafternoon.
Do you reckon you'd pay $100 million for this?
That's going to go in all the layers in between.
Oh my God, this girl's exhausting.
Wasn't just here in Australia. Talk TV also waded in with some satire.
Welcome to my beautiful home. What do you mean it's not my f***ing home? Every morning I pick beautiful flowers from my beautiful garden and I feed them to my beautiful children. So what if you haven't got a f***ing garden? I haven't really got any f***ing children. I hate f***ing bees. Get me out of this f***ing bee suit now. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. You know, like my husband. It's so funny that people keep calling me Meghan Markle because it's Meghan Sussex now. It's Meghan f***ing Sussex. Meghan f***ing Sussex. Meghan f***ing Sussex.
Pandora, a bit uncouth, and while things have calmed down somewhat, the commentary continues. It just doesn't seem to be improving.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think she's kind of done a bit of an own goal here. She has to be open to criticism and commentary when she is going to be mixing in Hollywood and Netflix series, unfortunately. And that is just something she's going to have to deal with and her team are going to have to deal with. She has opened herself up now to verging into the Hollywood era of Meghan, which I think is great. She's not slamming the royal family as she is in this Oprah interview, which we spoken about a few times. So I think she's getting it right. She's on the right track. But unfortunately, how she has been advised, or perhaps the road which she is comfortable going down, is not one which is very relatable to the ordinary person. As you said last week, Caroline, you know, is having bees in your garden with a beehive very relatable? No, it's not. Are people going to have the time where they're working mums to be able to create bedside platters almost for their guests if they're lucky enough to have a guest bedroom? No, it's not. So she has to be open to this. But also she did confirm that there is a second series of this. But one thing I would question with that is, was this second series already pre-agreed by Netflix? Or is this just a PR spin to say, oh, because it's been so successful within the first few days, I've guaranteed a new Netflix series on top of this one? I'm not quite sure. I would question that. But what I would say is that we're still speaking about it. So if her PR strategy is, let's get headlines, doesn't matter what they are, well, then she's successful if she can ignore all the negative commentary surrounding that.
I think that's an excellent observation, and I would love to see whether that second series makes it. But one royal observer with a very, very keen eye picked this up.
I nearly lost my name. I mean, there's the loss of identity.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Angela, Meghan's shifted around a lot on focus and narrative. She was bound to come a cropper at some point, wasn't she?
She was, and it's not the first time. We know in the Oprah interview and the Netflix series that she will say things and then they will be fact-checked and they're not accurate. And I think the thing with Meghan is the first person she needs on the payroll is someone to actually fact-check. She will have had creative control over this, and someone needs to be, which is what would happen if she was working under the palace, saying, you know, you said this back in 2022 and now you're saying this now. Now, if you want to have credibility, then you have to be consistent in what your responses are. But the thing about Meghan is that she's a shapeshifter. She's a hustler. She's always evolving. She's very Hollywood, less royal. So we perhaps need to allow her this. If she's going to be the next Martha Stewart and the next Gwyneth Paltrow, then she is going to, like those two women, be divisive, as Pandora has said. But look, I didn't mind the series. What I mind is when Meghan says one thing and has said the other thing. So that disingenuousness is the issue I have a problem with.
And Pandora, we know that she's desperate to be part of Hollywood, but even within that industry, you know, celebrity chef Jamison Stocks and journalist and biographer Tina Brown, who's had something to say before, both have had a go, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not been great from a commentary perspective. What I would say is there have been a couple of celebrity chefs or well-known chefs who have looked at it, and they're probably looking at it through a chef's eyes. I've got to be completely honest with you. But Meghan has never tried to say that she is a chef. But I do know that it does really rile up chefs when you try and become sort of an influencer around cooking, because you've not had the cooking training to do this. You've not gone through the school. You've not got the grades. So I do understand that. But again, on the same note, is she harming anybody from doing this series? No, it's so light, it's so fluffy, and she's not slamming the royals. So ultimately, in my book, should she be getting the amount of negative commentary that she's getting? No, I don't think it's quite justified. But would I say, could she reel back and get a little bit more, as Angela noted, perhaps a little bit more advice along the way so that she doesn't trip herself as much as she wants to? Because there will be people who will be scrutinising absolutely every single word Meghan says just to trip her up. And ultimately, this is a multi-million-pound deal, and I really don't understand how people can sort of commission this and get her to go ahead with it once it's not been really gone over with a fine-tooth comb. It's just baffling to me.
And that's not the end of it either. Angela, a podcast about female founders. What do we know?
That's right. Meghan's got a new podcast. It's every day now we get a new Instagram update, don't we? So this is recollections of a female founder. She's going to be interviewing business women who are, you know, at the top of their game. Now, there's a two-pronged interest in this. She wanted another podcast series after obviously doing The Archetypes, which was generally regarded as a failure. Look, it got some viewing. You know, when it started, it was getting 1 million listening figures. But, of course, Spotify cast her and Harry adrift. That was a $20 million deal. Now, Lemonada, who is producing this podcast, there is no way that Meghan will be being paid anything like that. In fact, interestingly, this company did one of my favourite podcasts, which is Julia Louise-Dreyfus's Wiser Than Me. So I expect high standards from this, and actually a very good podcast. But I think what's really interesting here is there's a synchronicity finally in Meghan's projects, that the As Ever brand, the Netflix show, and now the female founder, they all relate to each other, they all talk to each other, and we're seeing what we hope to see now is her having some cohesiveness in her working life going forward. And look, you know, let's see how it happens. I'll want to listen to this, what we have to hope that it is not the me, which came out from Archetypes. She just constantly talked about herself.
Let's hope. Ladies, Angela Mollard, Pandora Forsyth, thank you so much for joining us.